The last week has been a source of moderate cheer. Trump was successfully sued, Santos was arrested, and Tucker was fired, along with Dominion securing a huge settlement. That happened a little bit before. Carroll's victory brings some resolution to the open obscenity of Trump's flagrant abuse of women. It's a far cry from proper justice of a criminal conviction, but at least the civil case got us some accountability. At least George Santos did get criminally charged, so things are looking up. Always remember, kiddies, the ultra-rich hate being stolen from. They always think everybody is after their money. And George Santos got caught. With Tucker's firing, at least for a brief time, we are relieved of his toxic authoritarian propaganda. The text message that supposedly motivated his firing has been heavily commented on, but I wanted to focus on one specific aspect. And I am going to avoid his white man washing because, as I said, lots of people have already taken that apart. Instead, I'm going to comment on his moment of self-reflection. First, let's highlight the relevant parts. A group of Trump guys surrounded an Antifa kid and started to pound the living shit out of him. It was 3 against 1. Yet suddenly I found myself rooting for the mob against the man, hoping they'd hit him harder, kill him. I really wanted them to hurt the kid. I could taste it. Then somewhere deep in my brain, an alarm went off. This isn't good for me. I'm becoming something I don't want to be. I shouldn't gloat over his suffering. I should be bothered by it. If I don't care about those things, if I reduce people to their politics, how am I better than he is? The semantic content of this statement is that he's unhappy to lose control to the drug he peddles, which is hate. But he doesn't give one thought to the mob who's beating another human being that's been reduced to politics. I want to know how civilization is going to be saved from the depraved left by a rampaging conservative mob. I guess God will happen, or the rich elite, like Tucker, will step in to bring order to everything. That is, of course, if he manages to keep out of the blow. I want to close out this segment on Tucker by leaving you with a few quotes that Brian Tyler Cohen found from Tucker himself, which I think are quite interesting in the light of everything that I've brought up.
It's sort of scary if you think about it. And it's scary for a really simple reason. First of all, lying is always bad. It's always bad.
I mean, I lie. If I'm really cornered or something, I lie. I really try not to. I try never to lie on TV. I just don't, I don't like lying. I certainly do it, out of weakness or whatever.
It's poison. And it hurts the person who does it, and it harms the person who receives it.
If truthfulness is a product of religiosity, what does it say about conservatives who are caught constantly lying? I'm asking for a friend.
What is the biggest moral crisis facing the country right now?
Whenever society gets too secular, it ends. That's right, it ends. If God doesn't say love your neighbor as yourself, it doesn't mean a damn thing. It's just a sweet suggestion.
Speech that brings persecution, violence, and death within a nation is unfit for any purpose. It's cultural suicide. And our existing attitudes towards the first, both culturally and legally, has to change. It has to change because we have states that are persecuting children and their families, women and people of color. They are right now being denied the rights the Constitution guarantees them. And there are states like Texas, Florida, Tennessee, and Montana that are violating the fundamental guarantee that each state must be a democracy. This is not a small matter. We cannot keep pretending that we live in a constitutional nation, not while this nonsense is going on. Lastly, I want to deal a little bit with Clarence Thomas. He is but one of 6 conservative judges who share one bond, their membership in the Federalist Society. This is no coincidence. The society exists to promote judges who will support its views. And Senator Whitehouse has quite a few hours of speeches detailing that society and its aims. It methodically scouts, recruits, indoctrinates, trains, and promotes amenable judges into the Supreme Court and the Federal Circuit. The point of the Federal Society is to find judges who are willing to craft their rulings in order to advance their career by means of the society. The society exists to corrupt the judiciary and make it biased and bound to the interests of billionaires and corporations. That's its only purpose. Clarence Thomas is the most public poster child of this process. This is what the Federalist Society does to the people it promotes. They all have a patron. They all have been trained and indoctrinated to promote a certain set of views and the interests of the friends of and buddies of their patrons. That's how this works. My point being that even if Thomas steps down for any number of reasons, and maybe another one like Kavanaugh goes down, we still have a problem in the Federalist Society, and we still have a problem in all the Federal Circuit court judges that were appointed during Trump's administration. Every single one of them needs to be scrutinized for a corrupt relationship with one or more billionaires. And the common point, starting point to all this is the Federalist Society. The Federalist Society is a clearinghouse for those who are headed for a career in corporate representation, and judges like Kavanaugh or Clarence Thomas who have ambitions to the Federal Circuit or to the Supreme Court. That's how this works. This is how the very wealthy and their corporations choose the judges that rule on their cases. So this wraps up my thoughts for the week. I really want to get to a couple of other topics, especially climate and the wonderful, interesting weather we're having. And also babble on about economic matters, especially around the monetary systems that we have. It's something I've been meaning to get to for ages. Anyway, I really appreciate anyone who spends any time listening to me rail about our bizarre and dysfunctional world. And if you like any of this, please subscribe and share this content. Thank you so much.